Hey guys, it's Mr. Fresh again. All right, so like I said earlier, we are going to be working on how to write a mystery story. And we're going to be trying to do this through writing a mini mystery. Now, I know some of you guys love to write, and there's some of you guys that you would do anything except writing if you could. And so I'm hoping that a mini mystery will be a way for both sides, everybody to kind of get a chance to practice how to write a mystery story of some kind. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to kind of walk through the steps, the six things that you want to make sure that you include or work on including in your mini mystery that will help make your story a really good story. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all six each day, but I'm going to be kind of highlighting one piece each day to kind of help as we start writing these stories. Okay, so what I have to kind of help with us with this, I'll show you. So I have a easel. This is a Mickey Mouse easel that my dad, Mr. Freshour, created a long time ago for my mom for her classroom. And so I thought this would be a perfect time to use this to help teach. So I have some whiteboard paper, so you should be able to see that. Okay, it looks like it's all good to go. And so these are going to be the steps for writing a mini mystery. Okay. All right, so number one, you're going to start with your main character. So number one, start with your main character. Seems pretty easy enough, right? So our main character for Cam Jansen and the Mystery Writer Mystery is Cam Jansen. So that's kind of the first thing you want to think is you want to kind of have a main character. This is going to be the person who is going to solve the crime. They're going to be the detective. They're going to be the one that solves the puzzle. And so in a bit, we're going to kind of break down the things that you want to make sure that your main character has or is capable of that's going to help with your story. But you want to make sure you first have your main character. Okay, number two, you want to put your character into an interesting setting. So number two, put your character in an interesting setting. Okay, so putting your character in an interesting setting. Now, what this does not mean is you don't want to just say that your character is in Dallas, Texas, or your character, this story takes place in a park. No. That's not interesting. So far, where has our setting in this story taken place? What are they at right now? They're at a book fair at their school. Book fair at their school. So it's kind of specific. And you want it to be specific because you want whatever your crime or whatever happens, you want it to be connected. So if you are at a park, well, you want to make sure that maybe you give the park a special name, or you really want to describe some unique things about the park that are going to fit in to your story. So you start with your main character, put your character in an interesting setting. Those are the first two. Okay, third, you want to create an intriguing mystery with a puzzle to solve. Okay, so number 3, I'm going to simplify that a little bit, and I'm going to say you want to create a mystery with a puzzle to solve. Create a mystery with a puzzle to solve. Okay. Looks like I'm going to have to move the screen down a little bit. Number 4. This is you want to make sure that you're building up tension to keep the story interesting. Build up tension to keep the story interesting. So you're probably thinking, well, Mr. Freshour, what does that mean to build up tension? Well, let me tell you a couple of these examples. It says one way that you could have tension is that you have the main character who's trying to solve the puzzle get really close but then fail. Have you guys ever seen that before in like a mystery where the main character, they're really close to solving the puzzle and then something happens and they mess up, or they solve something incorrectly? A lot of times, like TV shows where they think that this person might have been the criminal, but then they find out, oh wait, no, it's not. And it's not till usually the end of the story that they find out who the real criminal is. So build up tension. So number 4, build tension to keep the story interesting. Okay, so all right. So that's number 4. And don't forget, guys, I'm going to really break these down later so that you're able to see it and understand it a little better each day. All right, this is a fun part. Number 5. Include some thrilling cliffhangers to keep the story entertaining. So thrilling cliffhangers to keep the story entertaining. So let me write it real quick first. So number 5, include thrilling cliffhangers to keep the story entertaining. To keep the story entertaining. So you guys might have even some better examples or thoughts in your head about how you can keep the story entertaining by having these thrilling cliffhangers. Sometimes is the character has to encounter the bad guy. Sometimes that means that there's some danger. Maybe the character is getting too close and the bad guy tries to hurt them and the good guy narrowly almost gets hurt, but he barely gets away or gets by. So things like that are kind of exciting. You're not really sure what's going to happen next. Okay, finally, number 6 is you want to have the story resolved. So basically, you have a satisfying conclusion where the good guy solves the mystery. Your main character finally puts all the pieces together to have a good ending. They're able to figure out who the bad guy is and catch him. So number 6, resolve the mystery with a satisfying conclusion. So I'm going to say solve the mystery with a satisfying conclusion. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go through these real quick, and then we're going to each day break them down as we start developing our stories, okay? So number 1, start with your main character. Number 2, put your character in an interesting setting. Number 3, create a mystery with some kind of puzzle to solve. 4, build tension to keep the story interesting. 5, include thrilling cliffhangers to keep the story entertaining and exciting. And then finally, 6, solve the mystery with a satisfying conclusion. Okay, so I'm going to kind of keep this. So each day we're going to kind of go through all of these, but then I want us to highlight them. So we're going to flip. I'm going to switch to a different color. Let's go with blue. So now we're going to focus on number 1. Start with your main character. Okay. It might be, that's kind of small, it might be a little hard to see, but start with your main character. So, an example that they give, this website I'm looking at, says the best way to create a main character is to base it on yourself. Think about some of your own physical characteristics or personality traits that would work well for the protagonist. So basically what they're saying is you could potentially, if you want, make yourself the main character. Maybe you want to be the sleuth, the Sherlock Holmes of your story. That's up to you. However, if you're like, I don't really want to be the main character, then you can create your own character. Now, what I do want you guys to focus on is let's try to keep our characters fictional and more like a real person. Some of you guys, you might love superheroes, you might love, Minecraft people, but I want us to focus more on a realistic fiction mystery, a realistic fiction mystery. So we want our main character to be someone who's real. Someone who's real. So I'm going to have realistic person. Because this is realistic fiction. So we want this to be a realistic person. So one thing it says is first you want to kind of describe your character. Describe your main character. Okay, so examples from here it says describe your body size and shape, the hair and eye color, any physical characteristics that are unique. For example, your main character might be tall and slim with short brown hair, green eyes, lots of freckles, and dimpled cheeks. So you want to really describe your character. So like Cam Jansen, some of the things we've kind of heard right off the bat is that she's a girl, she likes books, but a big thing is that she has the photographic memory. So she can look at something, close her eyes, and click, and she remembers that. Okay, so then you want to dress your character. Talk about the things that they're wearing. So you might have them wear baggy jeans and a special t-shirt, or maybe they have the newest LeBron basketball shoes, or sweaters, or whatever you want, but you want to talk about maybe the clothes that they're wearing. Let's see. So more details. You could talk about their favorite subjects. So like Cam Jansen really likes to read. You could talk about them being good in math. Maybe if they're really good at math, that's what helps them solve crimes. Or maybe if they really like reading books, they use mysteries that they've heard that help them solve puzzles. Maybe they like soccer, or maybe they're really fast and that helps them run away from the bad guys. Things like that. Let's see. Yeah, and then you also want to talk about maybe things that some of the things that the character is not good at. So an example they have in here is if the character is not good at paying attention in school, like they're not always very focused, maybe your character at some point in the story misses something important. Like something happens because they weren't paying attention, and that it's like that mistake happened because of one of their things that they struggle with. So describe your main character. What they look like. What they wear. What they like or don't like. And then maybe things they're good at. And then things they're not good at. So what you want to make sure that you're doing as you're creating your character is you want to make sure that things have a purpose. Things have a purpose. So again, like some of those examples, if you're going to talk about them being really good at basketball, you might want to make sure that somewhere in your story you have them doing something basketball related that helps them catch the criminal or help somebody. If they're not good at something, that's also something that might be good to have, is like why something happened because of they weren't able to do it. So what your kind of writing assignment is today is you're really just going to brainstorm what you want your character to be. How do you want your main character to look or act or be able to do? Now, again, and you probably know this because I love superhero stuff, that sometimes I can get really caught up in like making this really fantastic, character that probably couldn't really exist. Like, I don't want us to be having like our character be a professional basketball player or football. You want this character to be someone who's kind of normal, but they're also like really good at something too that is going to help them solve this mystery. So like Cam Jansen, she has a photographic memory. So she's going to be able to see things and remember things that help her solve whatever crime mystery that she needs to solve. So that's what you want to focus on first. Think about who you want your main character to be and things about them. So what I want you to do is I want you to do more than just write, my main character's name is Jim or John or Julie, and then that's all you do. No. I want you to really think about, okay, who do you want your main character to be? If you want to make it about yourself, like let's say, I want my main character to be Mr. Freshour. And so I'm describing some things about myself, and that's how I'm going to be able to solve some crime. So you can put yourself in the story, or you can create someone new. But just make sure, read those directions, follow those directions, and I'm going to include a lot of this stuff that is going to help you describe your character and start creating some things about your character that's going to make them special, that's going to make them be able to solve the crime or the puzzle or the mystery of your story. All right, so check back in. We're going to keep working on this. Our goal is to get some cool mystery stories written by the end of this little session. So work hard today. Make sure you get that main character created, and then we'll go on from there. All right. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I can help you in any way I can. All right. See you guys.